Hello everyone, this is Southern Belle Whisper. I hope you all are doing well today. Before we go any further, I have to be honest with you guys. This video was not planned. I'm a nervous wreck right now, and you guys know how therapeutic it is for me to make videos, whether I'm nervous or upset or any negative emotion. Making a video always helps. It's always therapeutic. The reason I'm nervous is because I have an interview coming up at 1 o'clock. And so while I do my makeup, we will talk about the place that I have an interview with and probably the reason why I'm so nervous. So let's get started. And my parents just got home, so if you hear them, I'm sorry. I tried to make this video while they were out grocery shopping or went to the doctor, whatever they were doing this morning. I was going to try to make this video while they were gone, but it's okay. Hopefully it doesn't come over on the microphone. Okay, well, first let's brush my hair. I decide to wear red today for my interview. So I always love to do makeup looks that go along with my outfit. So, I've already took my shower, already blow dried my hair, but I'm still nervous, you guys. I've always been this way. Every time I've had to have an interview for a job, I've always been nervous. Okay, I just found this palette the other day in my living room. You guys, I searched to and fro for this palette for months, and it was just laying there in the living room floor. I don't know where it came from. But I was running out of colors in my friend's palette because I've been using it so much. And this one has a lot of beautiful colors. So we're going to be using this palette today. I love this palette. Okay. So, when I first moved here and, being around so many substances and praying about it and getting closer to Jesus, I was like, I want to do something. I want to be a substance abuse counselor because I realize there are so many people out there where their families have, hold on. Sorry. I've realized that there are so many people out there that want to change their lives, but their friends and their family have turned their backs on them. And I've been through that personally with a friend of mine. I told you guys about Kurt, who had a really bad substance abuse problem. And I tried to help him, but sometimes you fail, sometimes it takes more than just you as a person helping somebody to decide to stay clean. But those people also need a support system behind them. And I've seen it personally. Kurt told me, he said, it hurts me so bad that all my family and my friends have turned their back on me and decide not to help me get clean because I've tried to get clean so many times, and I only let them down when I go back to being an addict. And it's just sad. I think it's sad because when those people need their family and friends the most, they're not there. So when I moved here, I decided I want to be a substance abuse counselor. I want to be that one person that may keep someone from going back to drugs or alcohol or whatever the substance may be. I was like, I want to be a substance abuse counselor. So there is this community in town where I live. I'm sorry about all the traffic noise, by the way. And they specialize not only in mental health not patients, it's like a community. They not only specialize with mental health like Down syndrome and Asperger's and mental illnesses like that, but they specialize in counseling. And so since I moved here, and knowing that I had so many friends that work there that could put in a good word for me, I have been trying my hardest to get there. And I've been working these odd jobs and just having this feeling in my heart that I was meant for so much more than an odd job. Now, I am not judging anybody that works at Walmart or that works with fast food. As long as you're a hard worker, that's all that matters. But to me, truthfully, I've just always, especially getting closer to Jesus, I've just always had this feeling that I was meant for more. And then I've also come to the realization that lip gloss. I can chase my dreams if I want to. If I have a dream, sorry, don't mean to sound like Martin Luther King Jr., but if I have a dream, I should chase it. I shouldn't just let it go by the wayside and say, well, that's all it's ever going to be is a dream. Like my dream of having a family one day. One day I'm going to chase it. Even if I have to do it myself, I don't care. But I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm going to chase my dreams. So, hold on, I'll be right back. Because, oopsie, I used to have this mindset of, I used to put myself down a lot. And I'd be like, what's the use? I don't deserve it. Seriously, I used to have that mindset. But when I got here and everything that I've been through, I wanted to use my testimony to help someone out there. Sorry, my hands are shaking. I told you guys I'm nervous. So, ever since I moved here, I've put in application after application at this place. I told you guys, it's called Mount Rogers. And I've been putting application after application in, and I never heard anything back. But then I started going to my church and making friends at church who work there, who have been able to put in a good word for me. So, when was it when I went to the career fair? I still got gone from my sleep. And I hate that. I said, I don't know how long ago it was, but I went to a career fair recently. A Mount Rogers career fair. That's where I went to different people and did interviews with them. It was like, I think it was like 5 to 7 stations that I went to, and I realized how, hold on. getting real tired of these traffic noises, you guys. I realized that Mount Rogers is so much more than I thought, in a good way. Like how much they offered to people in the community, not just employees, but people, mentally handicapped people, substance abuse, addicts, people in the streets. It's just everything I hoped for and more, but I had to wait a little bit, and I'm impatient, and I don't know how long it's been. I think it's just been a few weeks. But this past week, I finally got the call that I was waiting on. Actually, I got 3 calls from Mount Rogers. And today, let's get my bangs out of the way. Today is, sorry if you can hear that. Today is my first interview. Am I getting out my shirt? Okay. And I think it's with the ACT program, which is the counseling program. Now, I don't know if I'm supposed to have, what's the word? I don't know if I'm supposed to have experience first. But when I did the interview with the ACT people, it was a woman and a man, I said, I don't have experience, like job experience. I said, but I've been there. I told them all about my testimony. I said, I've been there. So, and I didn't realize at the time, but I must have made an impression because I got a call this past week to have an interview today at 1 o'clock. So I must have said something right. I was really nervous that day too, but everything that I said came from the heart. I'm looking for my... Everything that I said to them came from the heart. I didn't bullshit nobody. I just told them exactly why I wanted to work for Mount Rogers and my testimony that I am a recovering addict and how it might help people if there's someone relatable that is in that field to help them. Let me pause so I can find my eyeliner right quick. I'll be right back. But yeah, that's why I told them, I said, I think it would help people more if there was someone relatable talking to them and counseling them. I said, you gotta start somewhere. You know, to get job experience, you gotta get your foot in the door, you know? I hate putting on an eyeliner, you guys. I really do. But I also love it. So, but it's like my least favorite makeup item to put on. Especially when my hands are shaking like they are. Okay, come on. Here we go. But I must have made some type of impression by saying that. I was completely honest with them. I remember when I came home and told my mama that I told them my testimony. She was like, Kelly, I wouldn't have done that. But people love honesty, okay? They do. They love honest people. So if they asked me, why do you want to work with Mount Rogers? I'm going to tell them exactly why I want to work for Mount Rogers. Because my past will help someone in the long run. And I want to do that. Everything that... Hold on. I'll be right back. Sorry. I've realized recently that whatever I do in this life, I want to make a difference somehow, some way. I want to make a difference. So, let's put my earrings in. These are my favorite earrings. I love them. I'm trying to think where I got them from. I think Walmart. But they're my favorite earrings. These are the earrings I wore for Easter. I usually have a hard time getting my earrings in though, so let's see. Have a hard time finding the hole sometimes. That's what she said. But so after that career fair, it felt like months before I heard anything from them. And I believe that when God is about to bless you, the enemy will attack you harder than before. I would write in my journal, I'd say, God, I know you have a plan. Please let me stop being so impatient. Please, I know you have a plan, but the enemy will attack you. He told me, he said, you're not good enough for this job. Even today, he's attacking me. He's like, you're going to do something stupid. You're going to do something that's going to screw up the whole thing. And you know, because he loves doing that, because he knows that God is about to bless me. Seriously. And I don't mean to say that selfishly. It's true with anyone out in the world that is trying to change their life, whether they're trying to grow in their faith or grow in themselves, loving themselves for the first time in their whole life. The enemy, when he knows that God is about to bless you, he will attack you. He will attack. And I'm not gonna lie, he has been attacking me. The last few weeks have been so hard. I've even put in applications at the Family Dollar down the road, and I was like, and my mama was like, what about Mount Rogers, Kelly? And I'm like, maybe I need to work odd jobs for now until I get my dream job one day. But then right as I said that, the next day I got a call from Mount Rogers. You have to keep the faith, you guys. If you're a Christian out there, you have. Even if it feels no bigger than a mustard seed, you have to have faith that your life is about to change. God brought me out of a very toxic, drug-filled environment. And he's made it to where I want to go out and change someone's life just by telling them my testimony. And being there for them when no one else is. You know, did I tell you guys Jay told me that I am the only friend that he has? I'm like, how? How do you not have like a whole group full of friends? I know he had to cut a friend out of his life recently because he was a bad influence, and I was like, good job. You know, when you realize people in your life are bad influences, go with your gut. If you're trying to stop drinking or you're trying to stop smoking, you guys, I made a mistake. The day before yesterday, my brother came over, and he's a pothead, and he brought edibles, and Jay came over because it was a grill out, and like God was trying to tell me, Kelly, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, and then worse. Sorry. But worst of all, don't bring Jay into it. Like, don't do it. It's not worth it. But I didn't really have that much support in that department. My dad and my brother both was like, oh, you can do it today and then go right back to being sober tomorrow. So, against my better judgment, and even though I got a letter in the mail, it was the guy that used to live here, whose name was David. I ignored that sign. I ignored my heart telling me, no, don't do it. And as soon as I ate that edible, my dad's grill disintegrated. I mean, steaks went everywhere. Like, it disintegrated. As soon as I ate that edible, I knew I'd made a mistake. But worse than that, even with that sign of that grill disintegrating, I still offered Jay some too. And you guys, I felt so dirty going to church yesterday. I thought Jay wasn't going to be there. It was his first Sunday in weeks. And he was a little bit late, and I thought he wasn't going to be there, and I thought it was going to be my fault because, you guys, it was awful. I had it like a bad trip. It was awful. Never again. Never again. I don't care what my brother says. I don't care what my dad says. Marijuana, any marijuana product is a drug. It's a drug. And I went against my better judgment, and I brought my best friend in with me, and it just made me feel like total dog shit. Like, when church was over yesterday, I went over to him, and I gave him the biggest hug, and I was just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But he laughed it off. He said, Kelly, we make mistakes sometimes. People make mistakes. But that hug helped a lot, because I didn't feel guilty just for myself and throwing away a whole month of being sober. I felt, that part on The Lion King where he's talking to Simba after Simba goes to the elephant graveyard like he was told not to. And Mufasa is like, I'm very disappointed in you. And what's worse is you put Nala in danger. That's how I felt like God was talking to me. But everybody knows that scene. It's like when Mufasa says, I was afraid today. I was afraid I might lose you. I just watched that movie for the millionth time the other day. You cannot tell me that The Lion King is not symbolic. I'm sorry, but you can't tell me that. I love that movie. But I learned my lesson, and I learned that I am so much better than eating an edible or smoking weed and just going around high all day. I'm better than that. And I'm glad that Jesus convicted me in that way. I am. I made a mistake. Today's day 2 of, being sober again. But people make mistakes. It's how you learn from those mistakes that matter. But anyways, I love you guys. I'll be talking to you soon.